Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. This is going to be an awesome topic for you because it came from a question, one of my avid listeners. So the question is all about guest posting. Quick story about guest posting as to why this came up. We do a lot of content marketing for our clients. And one of my clients said, "Hey, Frank, I keep getting these questions about, hey, can I be a guest on your blog and all of this stuff?" And it's where does that come from? So that happens a lot. And then somebody who listens to the show knows that I'm a huge advocate of content marketing and asked me to write something about guest posting. So looks like Mr. Guest Poster wants some stuff. And if you want to start guest posting, I guess you want to follow on this topic here. And it's a really good tool, especially if you want to get some traffic or whatever. So before I go on with the content of the show, I just want to take care of some housekeeping. If you want to be a guest on this show, let's say you just want to promote something. You're in the digital marketing space yourself. Maybe you want to promote your blog. You want to promote your book. You want to promote your YouTube channel. Whatever that is, you can give us a call at 888-416-7752 or send us an email at info@lbmsloc.com. And somebody will get back with you and schedule a time where you can be a guest on our show. Another thing, if there's a topic that you want to talk about, aka today's episode, this person wants a topic on guest posts. And here I am obliging. So if there's a particular topic that you want to start doing for your own business or maybe for other people's business, etc., you want to follow that same pattern. It's 888-416-7752 or send us an email at info@lbmsloc.com. And someone will get back with you, talk to you about the process of how that's doing done, and we'll add it to the schedule of the show, just like we did here. Okay, so last bit of information here. I really want to start. We wrote this book last year, the beginning of this year, and I wrote it. I wrote it in 2017, and I wrote an enhancement of the book because a lot of things changed from 2017 to 2020, and I wanted to give you guys some new tools. And I really would love if you guys take a look at my book. If you guys are a local business, it's geared towards local businesses, really. So if you're an attorney, if you're a chiropractor, if you're a dentist, anything like that, nail salon, we have a great marketing book for you. It's called 7 Steps to Recession Proofing Your Business. It's a book that you probably should have had before COVID hit, and you would have succeeded tremendously. But it's not too late to grab it. I'm going to put a link on the show notes, but the website is lbmsloc.com/book. The only thing is it's going to be a free book. It's 100% free for you if you order it through my link. Obviously, if you want to go through Amazon, you can do it that way as well. But I say, hey, why pay for it if you could get it for free? Only thing I ask for is you give me a couple of bucks for shipping. At this point in time, I am only shipping to parts here within the continental U.S. So if you're outside of Australia, or you're in China or anything like that, I am so sorry. We're not shipping outside of the US at this point. Maybe at some other point I will do that. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I'd like to talk to you about a beginner's guide to guest posting. It's going to help you get a lot more traffic, and it's been a tool in the content marketer's arsenal for a long time. But it's still, one of the more misunderstood tactics from, say, the unscrupulous SEO people, because they send out like poor written content. So the key to a successful guest posting strategy really is getting quality content. So before I even get into all of that and the strategy behind what you need to do, let me tell you what guest posting is, because I'm assuming that some of you probably don't even know that. So a guest post is a blog post that you write to be posted on someone else's website. Okay, so there are several benefits to writing guest posts. Okay, number one, I'm just going to list three. There are several more than these, but I'm going to list the top three. Put it that way. Number one, you get your name exposed to a new audience. Number two, you connect with other industry professionals. And number three, you establish yourself as an industry leader. So that's pretty much powerful stuff. If you want to get into guest posting, that's a good reason to do it. Some guest posting advocates also say that it's a useful way to get more backlinks to your website. So it's going to help your SEO efforts and stuff like that. But Google does not agree. So understand this. Google does not agree with that. At least not if you're only after the backlink. Okay. But there's some experts out there who are advocating that that's a good backlink strategy. Now, a good thing to do. Now, what we do, we're guest posts on a lot of other people's sites, but we look for high authority sites like Inc. Magazine, Forbes Magazine, etc., and we become guest posts on that, and we give backlinks to our for our customers, let's say. But here's the funny thing: is that that's not considered guest posting, because it's kind of confusing, and I don't want to make this episode too long, but that's considered you're basically providing an article for that site, because it's not technically a blog. So Inc. Magazine, Forbes, those are articles. So it's not considered guest posting. But it's the same strategy, except we have relationships at LBMS. We have relationships with Inc. and Forbes and all these high traffic. We've been doing SEO for a long time. We've been doing SEO since 2007 when we first started. So it's easy for us to do this. But if you want to get started in that game, what you want to do is you want to start with guest posting, which will probably give you the backlinks. I am on the side of the experts here. I believe that is going to give you the back. I don't understand why Google disagrees with it. I think it's because Google the algorithm that Google has is all about the high end page ranks. And if you're guest posting on a blog that just started, let's say, you're not going to get the page rank. So in that sense, they're correct. But I mean, a backlink is a backlink is a backlink. At least you get started. And anyway, enough for that. I don't want to beat a dead horse on that. I'm just wanting to give you my opinion. I think if you strategically guest post on a decent page rank website, and as long as it's relevant, it's a pretty good backlink if you guest post on it. That's just my take on it. See, some marketers actually have used like spammy tactics in the past, and they, like kind of flood sites and have these really bad, crummy looking guest posts just for the link. And I think that's probably the reason why Google doesn't, consider it as a good link strategy, because I don't think they want to discourage. I think they don't want to encourage people to do it just for the backlink. They want to make sure that you do the right thing to get the right backlink, So to avoid this problem, you're going to make sure that you write unique and valuable content. You got to remember that if you're a guest post, and if you're writing a guest post, and you do not have a 500 word, I'm sorry. If you have, what I'm trying to say here, I'm sorry. Let me go back. If you want a great guest post, you want to make sure that it's not that 500 word rehash of topics already on the web. Okay. If you notice, there's a ton, this is where research comes in. And if you follow me for a long period of time, I always talk about the research is the best thing, that is your best friend. And now with the internet, research is so easy to do. Go on forums, go anywhere to get the data. So you don't want these overly written or overly rewritten, I should say, 500 word blogs that rehash the same topics over and over again. And because it's just not going to give you the good quality backlink that you want on the guest post, because we want to go with the guest post that's going to give you the backlink. Otherwise, why be a guest post writer? And let's debunk Google. Let's show them, hey, we can do this the right way, right? I'm kind of a rebel that way, but anyway, so you basically want to get the long form original type of content, like case studies or maybe how-to guides. That will be great guest post on someone's blog, because it's original. Okay. And see, if you treat the guest post as a piece of important information, regardless of the link, you should be just fine. So yeah, you want the link, but the key is the research and treating the guest post as a piece of important information. So you got to position it the right way. So here, I'm going to talk to you about some rules of guest posting. So now that we know what guest posting is and all that kind of stuff, let's talk about some rules. See, Google's goal, first and foremost, is great user experience, period. I think we've talked about that in the past. That's what Google wants, a great user experience. So they've set up some, kind of best practices for blogging. I can put a link to an article of these best practices that they have on the show notes. So they, follow those best practices and you're good to go. And as I mentioned, content must be unique and interesting. See, that's the number one rule of all content marketing efforts, okay? So I gotta keep repeating that. It's gotta be unique and interesting. Number two, if the guest post is paid or sponsored in any way, the writer has to disclose it's somewhere. He has to disclose that somewhere in the piece. Okay, so that's why often you'll see words like sponsored in or something like in a partnership with at the top of a blog post. See, bloggers always have to disclose if they're an affiliate of any or the products that they recommend. You always have to disclose that information. And then finally, last but not least, of the rules of guest posting, if any money changes hands from your post or for a link, Google's rules requires a no follow tag. I think we briefly talked about no follow tags in the past, but this is a require. So this means that you won't get any backlink juice. Okay, that's what no follow means. If that link has any money exchange as a result of it. Okay, now if you're just looking for the backlink, then it's okay. You can do a do follow, but if it's some kind of money exchange, this is very important. I'm going to keep repeating this. I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. You have to have a no follow link. So I always tell people, when you're going to have a guest post, just make it for the backlink. Okay, and especially if it's a high authority blog that you have, maybe a blog's been around for a long time and it's in your niche, then, why not, right? So anyway, that's what I want to talk to you about in terms of that. That's enough for that. So now let's talk about how to pitch guest posts. Okay, so the person who asked this question, this is going to help you a lot. Okay. This is how you're going to pitch a guest post, and try not to follow what you've seen. I know you've probably seen a lot of people come up, say, hey, I'd love to be a guest on your, I'm going to show you some things where it's going to help you be a guest post. While some big deal bloggers and writers are turning away guest post opportunities, most of us have to seek them out. But first, you have to decide who you want to approach. Okay. So in other words, if you're a dentist and you are blogging about some, unique dental practices, and you want to be a guest, you want to have someone in your staff be a guest post writer or anything like that, you don't want to put it on a attorney's website, if you know what I'm saying. So a good way to start is by figuring out what industries are parallel to yours, basically what I'm saying. So rather than competing with you, they have to be parallel. So say a wedding photographer. Let's switch niches for a little bit. Let's go with a wedding photographer, for example. They probably won't have much luck trying to get like a guest post on other photographers' site because that's a competitor. But say a DJ or an event planner may be happy to publish a guest post from a photographer. You see? Because they're not really competing, but they're related. So if you want to pitch, say, large nationwide sites, give them the attention that they deserve. Some people treat, guest post requests as a numbers game, bombarding, site owners with generic pitches. It's not very successful. I mean, I get it all the time. Instead, you want to do homework on the sites that you like to write for. You want to study their niche. You want to, and their style. You want to research which is their posts have done well and received the most comments and social shares, etc. Then come up with a few ideas that you think would do really well on their site and that they haven't covered before. You see? You want to reach out to the blog owner or the site manager and make it personal. You want to tell them what you like about their site, and share your pitch ideas. Those folks get dozens and even hundreds of generic copy and paste pitch requests each month, like I do all the time. So you got to make sure that your pitch stands out. Okay. I'll give you a funny story. I'm just going to break from the scheduled programming, as they say, and give you a funny story. I get pitched all the time. And of the people who approach me, I've only allowed guest posts on my blog 3 times. And that's in about 10 years. And that's for good reason, because all they're doing is cutting and pasting, and they're hitting up everybody for the same thing. Now, we do this for our clients. We become guest posts. We do it on a larger scale, say for big brands like Inc. Magazine, and I'm going to call it a post, although they don't refer to it as that. But let's do it. Let's refer to it as that. You know, I am a guest post for some of these things. My clients, my team is, and we do this all the time. So we have a strategy, in which I'm teaching you now on this episode, of how to do it and become huge, very relevant, number one. And number two, where they come back to us and say, hey, would you like to write another post, another blog? Now, there's some sites that are excellent, even if they don't have high page rank, because it's such a relevant thing. Google actually likes that, and it'll start even boosting up their domain authority, and then your link juice becomes better. Okay, so I just want to give a side note before I get into the next topic, because we've talked about so far the rules of guest posting. We've talked about how to pitch guest posts. Now I'm going to get into writing the guest post. So this is very key. This is very, very, very important. So let's dive in. If you're going to dictate time, I'm sorry, dictate. I'm okay. If you want to dedicate time to a guest post strategy, you need to do it well. Period. So this should be some of the best content that you've written. And a lot of people say, well, why would I want to get the best content written on someone else's post? Why wouldn't I put it on yours? No, you want to put it on someone else's. First, you want the site owner to invite you to contribute again. And I told you that has happened to me before. So your initial attempt needs to be great, awesome, a winner. Number two, you'll want to use this successful guest post as an example in future pitches for other sites. Okay, I do this all the time. My team does this all the time. This is how we climbed up so much in our strategy for our SEO clients. So you want to think of it as a start of your guest post portfolio. Okay. And finally, the guest post will introduce your name and writing to a new audience. And the value, this is the value of a first impression. This is why, because people say, best content has to go on my site. No, I just gave you 3 reasons why you want the best content on someone else's site. Once the post is up, it's going to help by itself once the post is up, and then since they've allowed you to guest post, you want to promote it on your own website, on your own, not your website, your social media channels, and you want to start sharing it on your social media. So it's a lot easier. It's a lot better to share your posts to share your writing from someone else's website on your social media than it is to share your own blog post on your social media. It's a funky thing there where everything's linked together and it looks like you're bragging if you don't do that. So that's all you got to do for guest posting, guys. I mean, I hope I answered your question. And I'd like to invite you to start doing this. I want you, if you're thinking about getting into SEO, this is a key thing. This is off-page optimization. We often talk about on-page optimization. We often talk about citations, etc., etc. But if you don't have a lot of good authority backlinking in, you're going to be shot. And guest posting is a great way to build those links, So a lot of people say, well, Frank, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, yeah, it is. And it's a worthy investment for me. At the time that is to put into it. I mean, I built my business with this. I was able to get my clients the results that they deserve using this. But like all of content marketing, the rewards come to those who put in the effort. Okay? Like I said, I built my business with this. The clients that I have get outstanding results as a result of me and my team putting in the work to getting these guest posts. And getting, I'm at the point now I can call Forbes, I can call Inc., I can call any of those guys and say, hey, I have an article on the art of being a chiropractor. And they'll say, yeah, sure. When can we put you on the schedule? I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but it's there now. And that's the key. I put in the work and you can too. So the gentleman who wrote in the question, these are the steps. Okay. This is real simple like I said, this is the beginner's guide. This is just the beginning, but if you do this consistently, you're going to get a lot of visibility. So number one, I gave you the rules of guest posting. I also showed you how to pitch your guest posts. And I also told you how to write your guest post. If you do those three things, you're well on your way. And I'll probably come up with some advanced topics at some other time of how to do this. But you're doing it this way and you're doing it consistently, you're rocking and rolling. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. You could, like I said, you could, if you're a chiropractor, you can do this, or have someone do it, or hire a digital marketing agency. Period, to knock it out for you. I mean, it's that's how it should be anyway, right? We're the masters of it, and that's about it. So, again, folks, if I'm giving away my book, 7 Steps to Recession Proofing Your Business. There's a link in the show notes for that. The website is lbmsllc.com/book. Get a free copy. If you're in the continental US, we will ship it to you. It's just give me a couple of bucks for shipping, and it will be in your doorstep within 3 business days. So that's it for this episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Go out there, start being a guest post, get those backlinks for yourself or for your customers or whoever you're doing it for, and let's start rocking and rolling, guys. So until the next episode, this is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and this is Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Take care, folks. Bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes. or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.